Are you feeling stuck and frustrated trying to create a comp plan around your sales team? Today's question actually comes from Joe, who's a new sales manager out of Wisconsin. And he writes to mention, "Hi, I come from a sales background, but I am new to managing a team. Do you have any advice on structuring comp plans just to keep my team more motivated?" And that is what we'll dive into in today's episode. So, first off, Joe, I want you to know you're not alone in the frustrations you're experiencing in trying to design a comp plan. According to a study by the Sales Management Association, 40% of sales managers are reporting that their comp plans aren't even effective. Designing and managing sales comp plans is estimated to cause stress for 60% of sales managers, but not for reasons we might think. Yes, it's cumbersome. Yes, it's overwhelming. Yes, if we don't even know if it's going to work. But the actual data comes out that says the majority of comp plans aren't even effective in the first place, adding to the stress of a sales manager's day. Now, here's the interesting side. When done correctly, research by McKinsey and Company indicates that companies with a well-designed comp plan can actually see a 5 to 10% boost in sales performance. So we're definitely motivated to get our comp plans right because it does increase performance in the long run. Additionally, companies that actually align their sales comp plans with their strategic goals or quotas have shown to grow revenue by up to 20%. So in essence, here's what it comes down to. And I'm going to give you 3 quick tools on how you can design this year's comp plan for maximum efficiency. The first tool is to tailor it towards a base plus commission schedule. Now, intuitively, we know this. We know we want to give our employees a base, but on a sales role where we have defined quotas and targets, also a commission in their percentage to goal attainment. There is a balance. You obviously want to make sure that that base is a livable base, but not an overly secure base. So it's a base that should cover at least the living expenses and then a couple of things that might be extra based on that person's geographical location. For example, a base in, let's say, San Diego, which happens to be the second or the third most expensive city to live in the United States, needs to be higher than a base that might be in the rural Midwest. And make sure that when you calculate it, you can go to something called a cost of living calculator and actually dial in what it costs to maintain a decent quality of life in that city. And then the actual commission piece is in addition to that livable base wage. The second tip I want to add, when it comes to adding in the commissions, we've found in companies in North America, predominantly Canada, the United States, and certain regions of Mexico, we've found that a 3-tiered structured commission plan is most effective. Now, what does that look like? Great question to ask. You see, a base level means that when your reps are 100% to quota attainment, they're only making their base salary. So there's no additional incentive unless they get over their target or their quota. So then the mid-level would be if they're 100 to 125% to quota. So when you base your quotas off of historical analysis, where the market share is, and then the piece of the industry that is growing, if that rep can get over 100 to 125% to quota, they get extra commissions on top of it. And then that third tier, and this one we love to reserve for our top producers. This third tier, called the top level, is when your salesperson obtains over 125% to quota. Not only do they get a higher base salary compared to all other reps, but they can also earn out more so on the commission side. You see, many companies fall into the trap where they try to reward and incentivize those who just frankly don't hit quota. Instead, what the most successful companies do is they recognize, number one, when they have a top producer, and number two, they reward that top producer so that that top producer is not incentivized to leave. Because if you really look at the data, the cost of hiring and training another top producer might take up to 3.5 times the revenue of what the original person cost the organization. So making sure that your third tier of commission not only rewards a healthy base, but a higher healthy base, and then in addition, extra compensation once they hit over that 125% to quota. And then the last tip I'll give you today is performance bonuses. Now, I've seen this work both ways in the organization. So one way is we did have a company and they decided that we would create the quotas, and then the percentage to quota attainment from a team perspective, everyone splits that bonus. Why? Well, because sometimes when sales reps go on vacation, they need to know that their team will have their back and things won't slip through the pipelines. So a bonus structure that rewards everybody as part of the team based on their percentage to attainment quota helps with the team culture. But for some companies, this could include hitting certain KPIs. One of the most overlooked things is that the level of sales is actually something called a lagging indicator. Meaning, by the time you know if your sales outreach programs are effective, you've had to have done so many steps in the process, AKA leading indicators. For example, if your sales team needs to make 250 calls per rep per week in order to hit their quotas, thereby securing, let's just say, 10 appointments out of those 250 calls, the call volume is the leading indicator, which later represents the lagging amount, AKA the actual quota attainment. So try creating a bonus structure based on the activities that drive the sales, not necessarily the sales amounts. Hopefully that helps you out understanding a little bit about sales comp plans, how to structure commissions, and when, if at all, to use bonuses.